all things eternal as you hold to Allah's unchanging hand. There is love in his hand, Messiah, Allah's unchanging hand. There is love in his hand, Allah's unchanging hand, Messiah. Build your hopes on things eternal as you hold to Allah's unchanging hand. All rise, face to east. Feet at a 90 degree, 45 on each side. 5 fingers on the left, 2 on the right. Repeat the motion record prayer. Allah, the Father of the universe.
Allah, the Father of the universe.
The Father of love.
Father of love.
Truth.
Truth.
Peace.
Peace.
Freedom.
Freedom.
And justice.
And justice.
Allah is my protector.
Allah is my protector.
My guide.
My guide.
And my salvation.
And my salvation.
By night.
By night.
And by day.
And by day.
Through his holy prophet.
Through his holy prophet.
Through Ali.
Through Ali.
Amen.
Amen.
Remain standing. We rise and give praise to Allah.
We rise and give praise to Allah,
Father of the universe.
Father of the universe.
We honor the Prophet Noble to Ali.
We give honor to the Prophet Noble to Ali,
Last prophet of days and time.
last prophet of these days and
And
times,
the founder of the Moorish Science of America.
and the founder of the Moorish Science Temple of America.
Give unto all the prophets of Allah.
Give honor to all the prophets of Allah,
Jesus,
Jesus,
Muhammad,
Muhammad,
Buddha,
Buddha,
and Confucius,
and Confucius,
etc.
etc.
Give unto the harvest of the Prophet Noble to Ali.
Give honor to the harvest of the Prophet Noble to Ali,
Brother Marcus Messiah Garland.
Brother Marcus Messiah God.
Give unto all the past, the present, and the future leaders of the Moorish Science of America.
Give honor to all the past, present, and future leaders of the Moorish Science Temple of America.
Brother C. Kirkman Day.
Brother C. Kirkman Bay,
Brother F. Nelson Day.
Brother F. Nelson Bay,
And Brother J. Blakely Day.
and Brother J. Blakely Bay.
Give unto the former Grand Sheikh and moderator of Moorish Science of America.
Giving honor to the former Grand Sheikh and moderator of Moorish Science Temple of
Brother
America.
Arlo Eel.
Brother Arlo Deal.
Give unto the present Grand Sheikh and moderator of Moorish Science of America.
Giving honor to the present Grand Sheikh and moderator of the Moorish Science Temple of America.
Brother R. Jones Bay.
Brother R. Jones Bay,
And to his assistant,
and to his assistant,
Brother Hay Hopkins Bay.
Brother A. Hopkins Bay.
Give unto all national officials,
Giving honor to all national officials,
all state officials,
all state officials,
all local officials.
all local officials.
Give unto our Grand Governor and Assistant,
Giving honor to all Grand Governor's
and
assistants,
all Grand Sheikh and Assistants.
and all Grand Sheiks and assistants.
Give unto the Grand Governor of the State of New York,
Giving honor to the Grand Governor of the State of New York,
Brother D. Clark Eel,
Brother D. Clark Hill,
and to his assistant,
and to his assistant,
Brother A. Gaines Field.
Brother A. Gaines Hill.
Give unto the Grand Sheikh of Temple number 34,
Giving honor to the Grand Sheikh of Temple number 34,
Brother W. Kendana Bay,
Brother W. Kendana
and
Bay,
to his assistant,
and to his assistant,
Sister C. Fields Hill.
Sister C. Seals Hill.
Giving unto all the officials of Temple number 34,
Giving honor to all the officials of Temple number 34,
all Sheikh and Sheikesses,
all Sheiks and Sheikesses,
all divine ministers,
all divine ministers,
all members.
all members.
Give unto the Grand Sheikh Emeritus,
Giving honor to our Grand Sheikh Emeritus,
Sister E. German Bay.
Sister E. German Bay.
Give unto our two flags,
Giving honor to our two flags,
the American flag
the American flag
and the Moorish flag.
and the Moorish flag.
Give unto our charter
Giving honor to our charter,
for the 10 wonders and mysteries of the world,
with the 10 wonders and mysteries of the world,
which gives right to Islam in America without molestation.
which gives us the right to teach Islam in America without molestation.
Give unto the divine constitution and bylaws,
Giving honor to the divine
questionnaire and
constitution,
additional laws,
questionnaire and additional laws,
the Holy Quran and Moorish Science of America,
and the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America,
humanity pamphlet,
humanity
and all
pamphlet,
the divine instruction that the prophet brought for the blessing of all humanity.
and all divine instructions the prophet brought for the uplifting of
All
all
those who are
humanity,
working for the uplifting of all humanity.
and all those who are working for the uplifting of all humanity.
Peace. I read the laws of the Moorish Science of America. Islam.
Islam,
Islam, the Christian salvation, all seeing eye, our God, and press unity. The Moorish Science of America, divine constitution and bylaws. Act 1. The Grand Sheikh and the chairman of the Moorish Science of America is empowered to make law and enforce laws with the assistance of the Prophet and the grand body of the Moorish Science of America. The Assistant Grand Sheikh assists the Grand Sheikh in all affairs. He believes according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and is known before the members of the Moorish Science of America. Act 2. All meetings are to be open and closed promptly according to the Circle 7 and love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Friday is a holy day of rest because on the Friday the first man was formed in flesh, and on the Friday the first man departed out of flesh and ascended up to his Father God Allah. For that cause, Friday is the holy day for all Muslims all over the world. Act 3. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all members of the Moorish Scientific of America. No member is put in danger or accused falsely his brother or sister on any occasion at all that may harm his brother or sister because Allah is love. Act 4. All members must preserve these holy and divine laws, and all members must obey the laws of the government. Because by being in Moorish America, you're part and parcel of the government and must live the life accordingly. Act 5. This organization of the Moorish Concept of America is not to cause any confusion or to alter the laws and constitution of this said government, but to obey hereby. Act 6. With us all members must proclaim their nationality, and we're teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they're part and parcel of this said government, and know that they're not Negroes, color folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era time now, and all men now must proclaim the three national names to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained over you our leader prophet to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish American descendants of the ancient Moabites, whom inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All members must prompt any immediate and become a part and parcel of all of the acts of the Moorish Scientific of America. Members must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of the Moorish Scientific of America. Then you're entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant from your holy prophet Noble Ali through the guidance of his father God Allah. Noble Ali, the founder of Moorish American prayer. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation by night and by day. Through his holy prophet Ali. Amen. Let's read the 7 acts of the divine constitution and bylaws of the Moorish Scientific of America. Now go to the great meat of his own Koran question for Moorish American, page 7. Questionnaire and additional laws for the Moorish Americans by the Prophet Noble Ali. Act 1. Grand sheikhs and governors and heads of all temples or businesses. Each said temple must be approved by the Prophet Noble Ali. Before acting upon by any members, let it be financed property or any line of life that will cause the members to sacrifice finance, etc. That will cause support of any group of members. Any former officer that violates these laws is subject to be removed from his office under heavy restrictions, etc., by the prophet or the grand sheikh. Act 2. All members are to attend their adult meetings and their public meetings promptly. If a member is not standing around their meeting period, shall be fined 50 cents on the first case, and on the second, he will be fined $1, which will go in your emergency fund. If members working his monthly dues must be paid, and if he has money in the bank, he must subscribe as much as he's able to the Moorish Uplifting Fund, because it takes finance to uplift the nation. Act 3. It is a lawful and divine duty of every good member, if he's able in finance, to aid being saved in the nation. And if he does not, he's an enemy to the cause of uplifting his own people and just as much get you. Let it be he or she, according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. As I have the power invested in my hands, I would have to enforce the law in order to save the nation. Act 4. All members, while making a public speech, must not use any assertion against the American flag or speak radically against the church or any member of any organized group, because we are to teach love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Act 5. All members must promptly attend their meetings and send their children to Sunday school. and the teacher must confirm himself to the questionnaire, and let every member exercise his five senses who is able to do so, because out from your Sunday school comes the guiders of the nation. Act 6. Put us all members must reflect their nationality, and we're teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they're part and parcel of this said government, and know that they're not Negroes, color folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasting up to 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained over to our leader prophet to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moors remember the descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Acts 7. All members of the company attend their meetings and become a part and parcel of all those acts of the Moorish Temple. Members must pay their dues and keep in line with our necessities of the Moorish Temple. Then you're entitled to the name of faithful. Husbands, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All must remember to keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine coming from your holy prophet Noble Dwali, through the guidance of this Father God Allah. This I read the 7 nights of the questionnaire and additional laws for the Mormon American by the prophet Noble Dwali. I now turn your attention to the Holy Koran of Mormon Science of America, Circle 7, divinely prepared by the noble prophet Dwali, by the guidance of this Father God Allah, the great God of the universe, to redeem man from the sinful and fallen stage of humanity back to the highest plane of life with his Father God Allah. I now take your attention to page 26, divine instruction from the Holy Prophet, chapter 17. Jesus appears, fully materialized, before Apollo and the Silent Brotherhood in Greece. Appears to Claudius and Juliet on the Tiber in Rome. Appeared to the priest in the Egyptian temple of Heliopolis. Apollo, with the Silent Brotherhood of Greece, was sitting in a Delphian grove. The oracle has spoken loud and long. The priests were in the sanctuary, and as they looked, the oracle became a blaze of light. He seemed to be on fire and all consumed. The priests were filled with fear. They said, a great disaster is to come. Our gods are mad. They have destroyed our oracle. But when the flame had spent himself, a man stood on the oracle pedestal and said, Allah speaks to man, not by an oracle of wood and gold, but by the voice of man. The gods have spoken to the Greeks and kindred tongue, through image made by man, but Allah was one. Now speak to man through Jesus, the only Son, who was and is and evermore will be. This oracle will fail, but the living oracle of Allah will not fail. Apollo knew the man who spoke. He knew was the Nazarene, who once had taught the wise men in the Acropolis and had rebuked the idol worshippers on the Athens feast. And in a moment, Jesus stood before Apollo and the brotherhood and said, behold, for how I've risen from the dead with gifts for men. I bring to you the title of your vast estate. All power in heaven and earth is mine. To you I give all power in heaven and earth. Go forth and teach the nations of the earth the gospel of the resurrection of the dead and eternal life through Jesus. The love of Allah made manifest to men. And then he clapped Apollo's hand and said, my human flesh was changed to a higher form by love divine. And I can manifest in flesh on flesh or in the high plane of life at will. What I what I can do, all men can do. Go teach the gospel of the omnipotence of men. Then Jesus disappeared with Greece and Crete, and all the nation heard. Claudia and Juliet, his wife, lived in the Palatine in Rome, and they were servants of Tiberius. For they had been in Galilee, had walked with Jesus by the sea, had heard his word, and seen the power, and they believed that he was Jesus made manifest. Now Claudius and his wife were in the Tiber in a little boat. A storm swept from the sea, and the boat was wrecked. And Claudius and his wife were sinking down to death. And Jesus came and took them by the hand and said, Claudia and Juliet, arise and walk with me upon the way. And they arose and walked with him upon the way. And thousands of people saw three walk on the way and saw them reach the land, and they were amazed. And Jesus said, you men of Rome, I am the resurrection and the life. They that are dead shall live, and many that shall live will never die. By mouth of gods and demigods have I spoken unto your father long ago. But now he speaks to you through perfect man. He sent his son, Jesus, in flesh to save the world. And as I lifted up from the water grave and saved these servants of Tiberius, so Jesus will lift the sons and daughters of the human race, and yet every one of them from darkness and from the grave of carnal things to light and everlasting life. I am the manifest of love raised from the dead. Behold, my hands, my feet, my side, which carnal men has pierced. Claudius and Juliet, who I have saved from death, are my ambassadors to Rome. And they will point the way and teach the gospel of the Holy Bread and the resurrection of the dead. And that was all he said. But Rome and all of Italy heard. The priests of Indianapolis were in the temple meant to celebrate the resurrection of their brother Nazareth. They knew that he had risen from the dead. The Nazarite appeared and stood upon the sacred pedestal on which no man had ever stood. This was an honor that had been reserved for him who first would demonstrate the resurrection of the dead. When Jesus stood upon the sacred pedestal, the master stood and said, all hail! The great bell of the temple rang, and all of the temple was ablaze with light. And Jesus said, all honor to the masters of the temple of the sun. In flesh of man, there is the essence of the resurrection of the dead. This essence, quickened by the Holy Spirit, who raised the substance of the body to a higher tone, and make it like the substance of the bodies of the plain above, which human eyes cannot behold. There's a holy ministry in that. The essence of the body cannot be quickened by the Holy Spirit until the fix is solved. The body must disintegrate, and this is death. And then upon the planet substance Allah breathed, just as he breathed upon the chaos of the deep when the world was formed, and life sprang forth from death. The carnal form is changed to form divine. The will of man makes possible the action of the Holy Spirit. When the will of man and the will of Allah are one, the resurrection is a fact. And in this we have the chemistry of mortal life, the ministry of death, the mystery of the epic life. My human form was boldly given to bring my will in tune to the deific will. When this was done, my earth tasks were done. And you, my brother, know full well the foes I had to meet. You know about my victories in Gethsemane, and my battle upon the course of men, my death on the cross. You know that all my life was one great drama for the sons of men, a pattern for the sons of men. I have lived to show the possibility of man. What I've done, all men can do. What I am, all men shall be. The master looked, the form upon the sacred pedestal is gone, and every temple priest and every living creature said, Praise Allah. As I read the entire
Praise
chapter.
Allah.
That's right. Praise. Just like I read the entire chapter, Divine Shepherd on the Holy Prophet, chapter 17. Jesus appeared fully materialized before Paul and the silent brothers in Greece. Appeared to Carlos and Judas on the tabernacle in Rome. Appeared to the priest in the Egyptian temple of Neapolis. We go to the next to the last page. Back cover. The sons and daughters of the Asiatic nation of North America need to learn to love instead of hate, to know their higher self and lower self. This uniting of the Holy Quran and Mecca for teaching and instructing all Moorish Americans, etc. From the Holy Quran and Moorish Science of America, know yourself and your Father God Allah, that you may learn to love instead of hate. Every man needs to worship on his own body if you united with Asia. I need not open up on to the Prophet's laws. I can be glad to be here with my brothers and sisters and all those online. I pray that we open up our hearts, open up our mind, raise our thoughts to infinite wisdom, and listen to the words of the prophet. Let it sink deep into your heart, deep into your soul, deep into your spirit, and listen to and give your attention to the Sunday school instructor, because, like I said, if you're on Zoom, you're also in the temple. So we conduct the class in the same manner. So let's give our Sunday school instructor the respect of raising your hand, and they will recognize you. And whatever question you may have, Sunday school is a different setting. This is where you can ask questions that you may want to know about our prophet Noble Dwelly and the movement of the Moorish Science of America, because it is a divine and national movement. Praise Allah. At this time, I'd like to call out Grand Chief. Praise Allah. To come forth and conduct our class. Praise Allah. Having more than traveling, but he got back here safe with us. So praise Allah.
Oh, I can't see Allah, but I feel him in my bones. Oh, I feel him in my bones. Oh, I feel him in my bones. Oh, I can't see Allah, but I feel him in my bones. Feels like fire stirred up.
Fire stirred up.
Fire stirred up all in my bones, in my bones. We're the nearest place to meet him. We meet them all in our hearts. We meet them all in our hearts. Oh, we meet them all in our hearts. We're the nearest place to meet him. We meet them all in our hearts. Feels like fire stirred up. Fire stirred up. Fire stirred up all in my bones, in my bones. Who is noble to Ali? He's a prophet of Allah. He's a prophet of Allah. He's a prophet of Allah. Who is noble to Ali? He's a prophet of Allah. Feels like fire stirred up. Fire stirred up. Fire stirred up all in my bones, in my bones. What's your nationality? It is Moorish American, same as noble to Ali, same as noble to Ali. What's your nationality? It is Moorish American, same as noble to Ali, same as noble to Ali. Feels like fire stirred up, fire stirred up, fire stirred up all in my bones, in my bones. Islam was.
Islam.
Let us rise in the temple. We give praise and honor to the great God. Islam.
Islam.
We rise and give praise to Allah.
We rise and give praise to Allah,
the Father of the universe.
the Father of the universe.
We give honor to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali,
We give honor to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali,
the last prophet in these days,
the last prophet of these days,
the founder of the Moorish Science Temple of America.
the founder of the Moorish Science Temple of America.
We give honor to Brother Marcus Garvey,
We give honor to Brother Marcus Garvey,
the harbinger to the prophet.
the harbinger to the prophet.
We give honor to the past Supreme Grand Advisors and moderators,
We give honor to the past Supreme Grand Advisors and moderators,
Brother C. Kirkman Bay,
Brother C. Kirkman Bay,
Brother F. Nelson Bay,
Brother F. Nelson
Brother
Bay,
J. Blakely Bay.
and
Brother
Brother
J. Blakely Bay.
We give honor to our former Grand Chief,
We give honor to our former Grand Chief,
Brother R. LaVille,
Brother R. LaVille,
and to our present Grand Chief,
to our present Grand Chief,
Brother R. Jones Bay.
Brother R. Jones.
Honor to all officials of Moorish Science America,
Give honor to all officials of the Moorish Science Temple of America,
national, state, and local.
national, state, and local.
Give honor to our Grand Governor of the State of New York
Give honor to our Grand Governor of the State of New York
and his assistant.
and his assistant.
Give honor to the officials of Temple Number 34.
Give honor to the officials of Temple 34.
Give honor to our members.
Give honor to our
Give
members.
honor to our two flags.
Give honor to our two flags.
And we give honor to everything pertaining to Islam.
Give honor to everything pertaining to Islam.
Praise Allah. Peace.
Peace.
And Brother Secretary, can you tell us who we have on the Zoom? And if you're on Moors, can unmute yourself.
Islam.
Islam.
This time we have Sister Secretary, Sister J. Jordan Neal,
Sister J. Jordan Neal,
Brother Treasurer, Brother R. Jordan
Brother
Neal,
R. Jordan Neal,
Brother Assistant Treasurer, Brother K. Turner Bay,
Brother K. Turner Bay,
we have Brother W. Brockenberry,
Brother W. Brockenberry Bay,
Brother M. Kidd Bay,
Brother M. Kidd Bay,
Brother Marvin Johnson Bay,
Brother M. Johnson Bay,
Sister B. Von Neal,
Sister B. Vorneal,
and it says Sister Jones Bay, and / King Bay. So
Sister Jones Bay and family. Praise Allah. Islam Moors Online. We rise and give praise to Allah,
Arise and give praise to
To
Allah,
Allah,
the Father of the universe.
the Father of the universe.
We honor the Prophet Noble Drew Ali.
We give honor to Prophet Noble Drew Ali.
We honor the Brother Marcus Garvey.
give honor
We
to
give honor to Brother Marcus
Garvey.
Garvey.
Give honor to our charter.
We give honor to our charter.
Give honor to our divine constitution and bylaws.
We give honor to our divine
constitution and
bylaws.
Honor to everything pertaining to Islam.
Give honor to
Everything
pertaining
pertaining
to
to
Islam.
Islam.
Praise Allah. Praise Allah. Good to have all the Moors for Koran class. Brother M. Johnson Bay, our faithful Moor on a question and answer over the years. Truck driver. He's in Waterbury, New York. This is a little too far, like 5 hours away. So I said, at least you know you're in the area. Come on the Zoom. Good to have you, Chief. He's the brother that, if you ever seen the Moorish American Concordians, he's the brother that put that together. Anyone not familiar with that? Anyone online? You're not familiar with that? You want to look up what a Concordian? You know what a Concordians is? It's not a dance.
concordance.
You know, don't be like Brother Clenenberg, graduated Rutgers, and I act like I knew all the words, and I didn't. So I just kind of went with it. Some more to check me. Like, nah, brother, that's not what that means. You know what I'm saying? That's not. What do you got?
Islam says an alphabetical index of the principal words in a book or the works of an author with their immediate contents.
All right.
Like a compilation.
Does this work?
There's a lot.
Hopefully Moore's heard it. All right? That's for you younger Moors who have to take tests. That's a good vocabulary word. Concordance. All right? So if you want to know where the prophet said Jesus in the Holy Quran, you look at his book, says Jesus, it's on page 2, it's on page 6, it's on this page, this page. You look up the word faith. It's on this page, it's on this page, it's on this page. Look up the end, look up N or time. It's on this page, it's on this page. So it's a very good, useful tool for studying. Let's say you're studying a subject matter, Brother Spalding Bay, you're studying about ethers, which we're going to talk about today. You look at his book, Ethers, and so everywhere in the Quran where it mentions the word ether. All right? So praise Allah to have the brother on the line, have all the Moors on the line for Sunday school. Brother, surround it when you get a chance, if you could wipe off that board with a paper towel and maybe some little spray there. Let us get into the questionnaire. The questionnaire is to us like a little warm up. You know how you exercise, you get ready for your workout, you get ready to perform or something. You got to stretch, you got to get warmed up. So that's what I look at it. The prophet didn't say it. You know what I'm saying? But that's how I look at the questionnaire. It reminds us, because we come in here to do what? To practice, right? Islamism, right? And so Islam. So if you can sit and pay attention in the temple and stay with your principles for 2 hours, that means there's a possibility you could do it for 3 hours. It's a possibility you could do it in school. There's a possibility you could do it in your life. If you're a hater and you come in here and you just loving up on us for 2 hours, then you 2 hours you wasn't hating, wasn't slandering, wasn't thinking about no murders and no theft and things that harm. That's why we say the prayer. Brother Chairman, we say the prayer. It's important to say the prayer. There's a lot of symbolism in the prayer. But besides getting the symbolism and how our form is and how we stand, but it's the essence of what the thought of the prayer is. Because some cannot put up 7. Some cannot face these. Sometimes you're in different situations, but the essence of it. All right? So it's opened up the universe so we could be here today. So let's go online first. Usually because Surrounded Bay puts them last. But we're going to go with the Moors online first. So if you're online on the Zoom, you want to unmute yourself? I have a few questions for you. Online, Islam, who made you?
Allah.
Allah.
Who is Allah?
Allah is the Father
Allah
of the
is the
universe.
Father of the universe.
Can we see him?
No.
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 Where's the nearest place we could meet him?
In the
In the
heart.
heart.
In the heart.
Who is Noble Ali?
He is
He
Allah's
is
He's
prophet.
Allah's
Allah's
prophet.
prophet.
What is a prophet?
A prophet is the
Prophet
thought
is
of
the thought
Allah
of Allah manifested in
manifested
the
in
flesh.
the flesh.
What is the duty of a prophet?
To save
Save
nations
nations
from the wrath of
From the
Allah.
wrath of Allah.
Praise Allah. 7 questions. Do we have any children on Zoom? Islam, I'm sure we're going to sit up straight in the temple, hands folded, or with something we're reading, paying attention, because we're in school, right? We're in the temple, right? Yes, right? Right. It's just like a school. It's okay. I can work with you. Listen, I taught 2nd grade before. I'm fully aware of the interchange. And I just had my 6-year-old granddaughter, and I have my 4-year-old granddaughter, and I can handle 7. Okay? So praise Allah. Do we have any children online? On the Zoom?
Yeah,
No children, so we'll go with the child, 7-year-old in the temple. It's Sister M, Surrounded Bay. I have some questions for you. Thank you for the Moors on Zoom. You can mute yourself and put up your hand if you have questions. Sister M.
90 questions. 90.
You can answer 90 questions?
Yeah.
Oh. You said it. Who made you?
Allah.
Why are we Moorish Americans?
Because we're descendants of Moroccans born in America.
Who was Jesus?
Jesus was a prophet of Allah.
What is the modern name for Mexican?
Africa.
You're trying to fool me. I got you. Okay, I'm with you. Where do we get the name Jesus?
We get the name Jesus from the east.
Okay. Where did he teach? You said 90.
90.
I'm not going to waste my time. Huh?
In Africa.
India, Africa, and Europe. All right, I'm working with you. I got you. Where is the Garden of Eden?
Garden of Eden is in the
land
of food.
All right. How many cells are there?
2.
Peace.
On the higher self and the ruler self. Wait, didn't I say 90 questions?
Okay. Can you say one word for me?
Yeah.
Say extra.
Extra.
Yeah, that's what you want. Speaking of that.
90 questions.
You know how in our community, there's like certain questions. I was talking about earlier about a vocabulary word, right? You go average person back in the day in my neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? What is a concordance? I don't know.
No.
Right? But then you ask them, what's the deuce and a quarter? You ever heard that, brother lawyer? Deuce and a quarter, right? What does it mean that the hawk's outside? Some people mean that a bird flying in the sky. That means it's cold outside. If I say the hawk's out there with grandma and the whole family, that means it's really cold outside. So we got a term extra. We kind of know when we use that for people, right? But not lately, but for a while, I've been hearing the young Moors, say, I appreciate you. You ever heard someone say that to you? I'm Ubering around, right, in Baltimore, and the brother said, I appreciate you. Right? I was like, we appreciate each other. What does that mean, appreciate someone, Brother Spalding? Yeah, have you said it or someone said it to you?
Yeah, you appreciate someone, you accept whatever, benevolence they may be extended to you. You're grateful, you're thankful.
Okay, praise the Lord. I'm sure you already got the definition, right? He's slacking. We got to go on Amazon Prime. We got to get our sister secretary a third arm, Sister Sienna, because he's already doing so much with his 2 arms. But if he had that third arm, you know what I mean? Like that third eye, that extra arm. All right. But I appreciate you, for the Lord here. I appreciate you, Sister Jones, man, on his own. I appreciate We say these terms, right? One time I was in a relationship, the person did not like to say, I'm your friend or I love you. The people use that term too loosely. Are you my friend? You ever heard of a frenemy?
Yeah.
Like, I appreciate you. I appreciate you, sister. Tell me what that means to you. Have you ever said it?
I have
Islam. Stand up for us in the temple. Say Islam. On your square. All right.
I have heard the song you got for me from Toy Story. That one. You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me.
When the road looks up ahead and you're miles and miles from a nice warm bed.
Nice warm bed.
That's it.
Thank you for that musical interlude. I appreciate that. We all got something to offer. From 7 to 77 plus. We call them 77 plus. I like 77. I like double 7. I'll just say double 7 plus.
77 plus.
Yeah, he's 77 plus. Yeah.
Islam.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait, say Islam again.
Islam.
Is that Michaela?
Yeah, but that's not me.
There's more than one Michaela. Islam, Sister M.
Yes, Sister
How are
M.
you today?
Jordan. Good, how are you?
I'm doing fine. And what we at that what? We're 8, 9?
Can you say that again?
How old are you? 8, 9?
8.
8. So we got 7. And that's gonna be you next year, 8. And she could be 9. But it's not Sister M. Jordan, who made you?
Allah.
What is your nationality?
Moorish American.
What is our religion?
Islamism.
What kind of flag is the Moorish?
It's a 5 point. It's a red. It's a red flag. Wait.
With a 5?
It's a red flag with a 5-pointed green star in the middle. In the center.
Yes, 7. Let me ask you a question, right? You're going to school right now, right?
Yes.
You get homework at school?
Yes.
Do you get reading assignments?
Yes.
From your teacher, right?
Yes.
So I guess I should give you a reading assignment and a homework assignment, right?
Yes.
Islam.
Yes, that wasn't a big Islam, but how about I want you to know from question 1 to question 28. You're 8. Question 28. I want you to focus on that the next couple of weeks, right? Question 1 to question 28. Can you do that for me?
Islam.
All right. You just put that with your other studies. You find a little time, maybe a little 5 minutes. Maybe it'll take you 7, 8 minutes to get through it. And you put that with your math or your reading assignments. I appreciate you. Any other children online? Islam.
Praise Allah.
Thank you so much. Brother who?
Brother B. Jordan.
Whoa. I said children. That's a man. That's a man child, right, Sister Jordan?
Yes.
The last picture I seen him, he's like he had muscles and stuff. Brother B. Jordan.
Islam.
See the voice? You hear that, right? You hear that verse 1? Got that. You know, when you go from that Islam to Islam, yeah, with 13, right?
Yes.
The magic number of 13. They call it Baker's dozen. You ever heard of that? Baker's dozen?
No.
Brother Jordan, you ever heard of a Baker's dozen?
Yes.
Oh, okay, then you know that's 13. All right.
I never heard.
So you know all the questions, right? Because I know all between that AAU basketball and all of that, you probably got the questionnaire in your bag, bouncing the ball with one hand, who made you with the other hand, because that's how you roll, right?
Yeah.
Also play basketball.
Yeah. Okay, question number 38. What is an angel?
An angel is a thought of Allah manifest. An angel is a thought of Allah manifested in human flesh.
I wasn't gonna start you off with who made you. Come on, Mo. That's like when you're 7 and 8. You know, when you're the age you are, I go with what is order?
Or is Allah.
Mm-hmm. What is the title given to our ruler in Morocco?
Sultan.
When was the head of Satan taken off?
1453 Byzantine.
You good, Mo. You good. Hopefully. Praise Allah. Have a great day. Hopefully you stay for the rest of the class. I'm gonna talk about the blue ethers. You ever heard of the blue ethers, Brother Keith Jordan? You ever heard of the blue ethers?
No.
All right, because our secretary is looking at it right now. I send it to the temple email. I already texted to him, so he's probably got it right on the screen, ready to pop up anytime we need it. That's how we roll with Brother Smithfield. You know what I mean? So praise Allah. All right, it's on. Who else we got?
And from Sister B. Bonnie.
Brother, Sister B. Vornil. It's on. Did the baby get any more hair yet? Come on now.
Sister Kate Vidal.
Oh, Sister K. Vornil. Excuse me, because I saw your little brother at the temple in Detroit. He was like, I have more hair than that more. Come on, I don't have that much. Yes, sir. How old are you, Sister K. Vornil? How old are you?
Say it again. 5.
5. I have a question. You ever heard of Endor the camel?
No.
Oh, well, Sister Vornil, I know she got a coloring book up in there, right, Sister Vornil?
Absolutely, you seen them.
She better know. She gotta know about Endor.
I also have a coloring book.
Right? Okay, we call Endor the camel because on the lithograph, we got some new fresh lithographs in. The Moors, I know Brother Laudio said he wanted a lithograph. And on there, they have a pictorial of a camel, and then underneath it says endurance. So when I created Endor, his name is comes from endurance. All right? All right, so Sister Kay Vornil, let me go with you. Who made you?
Allah.
Who is Allah?
Allah is the Father of the universe.
Can we see him?
No.
How many questions do you know?
Say up until like 30.
30.
Oh, okay. All right, what year was the Moorish Science of America founded?
1930 AD.
What is your nationality?
Moorish American.
Why are we Moorish Americans?
Because we are citizens of America. America.
Who's been teaching you this?
The Koran.
Well, thank you so much for participating. Praise Allah.
Peace.
Peace. You know, Moors, for a long time, when I was first coming up in Temple 21, we had a lot of children. And as a young man without children, it was like very annoying sometimes. Like children and acting up, making noise and all of that stuff. And then I used to think about those noises and stuff. So then we went through a period where we didn't have any more children. And I was like, man, it's so quiet in the temple. And then when I first came to Temple 34, we didn't have any children. It's like I used to say, I said, you know that noise that was so annoying to you? Don't you miss it? And yeah, it's just something about having children and grandma and everyone in between. They got so many different ways of looking at life, expressing themselves. I said something one way, she comes up with a song, and she starts singing. A 5-year-old, what she say, she's 5? Kindergarten. She knows who she is. She knows why she's a Moorish American. You know, so when they call you a little black girl in school, you know, you got to step up to the teacher. I'm not black, and then the mommy got your back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, you know what I mean.
No,
Yeah.
no student thinks I'm black.
No, you made it clear to everyone. That's a fact. But praise Allah for the Moors online. Any other hand? All right. So listen, for the Moors in the temple, let's go with question number 9. What year was the Moorish Scientific America founded?
1913.
Where?
Newark, New Jersey.
What is your nationality?
Moorish American.
For what purpose was the Moorish Scientific America founded?
For the uplifting of fallen humanity.
How old is our flag?
It is over
10,000 years old.
Which is our holy day?
Friday.
Who was Jesus?
He was a prophet of Allah.
Where was he born?
In Bethlehem of Judah, the house of David.
Sister Jordanelle, Sister J. Jordanelle, could you break down what does the prophet mean in the house of David? Question 25. Where was he born? In Bethlehem. That means the place, the actual physical city of Judah, the 12 tribes of Israel. He was of Judah. What does it mean, Sister Jordanelle, in the house of David?
Islam, for summarizing, give praise to Allah and honor to His holy prophet, and everything that gives, everything that you gave honor to in opening the meeting. We're just talking about lineage. We're talking about bloodline. We're talking about genealogy. With that, I say peace.
Okay, genealogy, bloodline, right? The house. Talking about the royal house. He was a king. Remember in chapter number 2? It said that Archelaus, right? He's looking for the claimant to the throne. Infant claimant. Right? That's why many people said he was from the line of David. So I'm in Jehovah's Witness convention, giving the 2 apples. And when it came to that, I was very interested in how, because they say David is not Jesus' father. Right. But here they're making reference, because there's reference in the Bible, to the line. So I'm like, I'm trying to figure out what they're gonna do to skip. There you go. They started talking about how Mary, one of Mary's descendants, was connected to David. Therefore, Jesus, who has no father, is descended from David through his mother. And I was like, that's why Brother Kanemi is not good enough. That's why I like to do a timeout, because I don't understand it. Right? But just talking about the whole concept, the house of David. I think in China they have what's called the House of Chen. All right? Right? When you think about when we call China today, was not always China. China was one of other kingdoms. Confucius talks about this, because at the time, I mentioned this before, there's a lot of turmoil in the different kingdoms. And Confucius came out of one of the smaller kingdoms. But eventually, China monopolized the rest of the kingdoms, and so they all became known as China or Chinese. All right? So when we think about that, they have something called the House of Chen. Right? Right? Who could tell me, who's good with this, when they talk about his mother passes, the King of England, King
George,
King Charles.
King Charles. He's from the House of Windsor. The House of Windsor. Right? Now, even though we don't use these terms like regularly speaking, those in the know and those who control the international society, they know who's from the House of Windsor. They know who's from the House of Chen. They know who's from the House of David. And they know who the Moors are. Yep. That's why I told the Moors years ago when I was living in Uniondale, Long Island, and I was moving something around. I moved there for about a year or 2, and the man across the street see me with my fez on. He comes straight up to me. I ain't say nothing. He just pressed my hand. He said, I didn't know I lived next to royalty. Just by having the fez on.
And I'll get right to you. And if you look in something called the coat of arms, you know that definition? Coat of arms. The coat of arms, especially even all over Europe, you'll see like Moors in their coat of arms. Because the royalty of the different houses, in order for them to declare, it's very interesting because see, the Pope just passed, right? So they had this deal where you were a king by divine right. So because Brother Spalding Bay is king by divine right, his son should be king. Well, how can you, as the king of a nation, get authority to say you are by divine right? Well, if the Pope, who's in charge of the biggest religious institution that's over your country, says, yeah, I agree with that. He's the king by divine right. And you're like, hey, that's who it is. And so they all became houses. And that's why they were intermarried with each other to keep that royal bloodline and that house alive. Brothers, surrounding it.
Islam.
Islam.
Praise and honor is already given. And I think this is a wonderful discussion with the Grand Chief. And, what it makes me think about is, Prophet Muhammad, for example, his last name is Ibn Abdullah.
Okay.
Right? Ibn meaning the son or the son of, and then Abdullah, which would be his father. And then in the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science of America, the inside of page 2, where it shows Sultan Aziz ibn Suad or Saud, that's what pronounced. And so Sultan, his title of Sultan, right, the office or what you refer to as, right, the highest in that particular nation, right, Abdul Aziz and then Ibn Saud, meaning son of Saud, right? That's the house of Saud. That's where we get the name Saudi Arabia, right?
Yes.
And so, there was just something interesting in how we have our own names, such as Ali, which the Prophet held, and then Bays and L's. But it made me also think about Jesus and what Jesus's last name would have been. And so, since he was from the house of David, then his last name in Arabic would have been Isa ibn Daud, meaning the son of David. And then in the Bible, I believe there's about 17 verses or so that specifically refer to Jesus as Jesus, son of David. Peace.
Peace. Praise Allah. Praise Allah. I mean, you got that? Which one? Or and I gave you so many, you don't know which one. Sister Celia.
That's fine. Praise Allah and honor to our Prophet. When you were speaking about the Chin family line, or the House of Chin, I remember the connections to dynasties versus the houses. And the importance in the separation is that a dynasty often only existed through ruling power. So the dynasty was over once another family line stepped in or another political control and power stepped in. But with the house, as opposed to the house of David, it connected to bloodline. And so I thought that was a great separation, that it wasn't political in that concept, even though they have political components, it was directly connected to the family line.
And I'll get right to you, Brother Surabaya. And since you brought that up, so the Prophet always talked about this genealogy, right? And at the end of the Holy Quran, he tells about we're teaching them the truth about their birthright. See, because that's very important to all the conversations we're having, right? And like the sister said, when you read up about the Moors, especially the Moors of Spain, they talk about these different dynasties, but they don't mean it was all Moors.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Some of them wasn't Moors, but it was part of the Moorish Empire that, like you said, certain families took control of. But let's round up.
So I just wanted to add that Prophet Confucius was from the House of Luke.
House of Luke, praise Allah. Now I'm gonna read something here, and then we're gonna move on, and then the brother's gonna read about the Coat of Arms. So this is in the Moorish literature on page 6. Moors, take out your Moorish literature. On page 6, the title is a divine warning by the prophet for the nation. I'm gonna go down to the right side to the last paragraph on that side. It said the word Negro alludes in the Latin language to the word nigger. The same as the word color is alludes to anything that has been painted, varnished, and dyed. And every nation must bear a national descent name of their forefathers, because honoring thy father and thy mother, your days will be lengthened upon this earth. See how the prophet gives you the tie in the reasoning about honoring your forefathers, and to talk about one of these covenants that we have. It says, these names have never been recognized by any true American citizen of this day. Through your free national name, you are known and recognized by all nations of the earth that are recognized by the said national government in which they live. All right? So, praise Allah. If you look just a little bit above that, the first sentence above that last paragraph, there's a statement here that says, because they place their trust upon issue and names formed by their forefathers. So what we have talking about, I mean, if you go back, you know, it's like from the house of Moab. And then basically the house of Moab is from the house of Canaan. You know what I'm saying? And the prophet says all the inhabitants that he mentioned of Africa are from the ancient Canaanites. All right? And then we know Adam and Eve went into Canaan. All right? So praise Allah. We have coat of arms.
Praise Allah. So if you can share the screen with more, I have definitions for coat of arms, and that relates to the concept of heraldry, Islam.
Islam.
So a coat of arms, Islam, is a visual symbol typically found on a shield used to identify a family, person, or organization, and it's a form of heraldry. So heraldry is a system of symbolic representation developed in medieval. And the coat of arms originally refers to a circle or a garment worn over the armor that's displayed in heraldic designs. So you can see it prominently around the areas as well as their clothing. And then the concept of heraldry is the practice of designing, blazoning, or describing, and granting armorial insignia, or armor, different things, such as coat of arms, and tracing genealogies of that.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Praise Allah. Heraldry, coat of arms. I started making me think about seals. Remember the seal of Rome was placed upon the tomb. You had the seals of the Moorish Science Temple of America. 1967. I was just 6 years old. For the Evans Bays, Divine Minister Papers.
Praise Allah.
For Brother Blakely Bay.
Praise
Right?
Allah.
That's history. All right? But I don't want to spend too much time on that. I want to move forward. But I do want, is Brother Turner Bay still there? Brother Turner Bay, Islam Sheikh. Turner Bay? All right, we'll get with him. But I was thinking, I don't know if the Moors remember one time, Brother Hurt Bay, you know.
Islam, I'm not in space to speak.
No problem, we'll get to you more. You can hear what he's saying. He talked about, just like there's a seal of the United States of America, and where could you quickly see that on your person, Brother Spalding Bay?
On the U.S. dollar.
On a U.S. dollar, right? Got an eagle on one side, a pyramid on the other side. Well, you have a seal of New York, right? And you have a seal of Brooklyn. There's actually a seal, you know? So in that seal, we could talk about that a little bit in the civics class. All right. So that link I gave you with the blue ether, that's right. You pull that up on the screen. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna have Brother, well, let me read these if you got your oral statement. More for the last month and a half, couple months, we've been talking about the oral statements, right? We know that the word we're probably used to hearing is not oral statements, but in Islam they have something called the hadith of the Prophet Muhammad, right? And they have something where they call, you want to make sure that sister has a Koran, a questionnaire, oral statements, moral study, anything she needs when she comes into the temple. Thank you. All right. And some are weak hadith, meaning maybe one person said it, you're not sure. Some are strong, where it was said in front of a crowd of people. More than one person had heard it. All right. So when it comes to the oral statements, you know, Brother Lovia puts a disclaimer in there. and I hope that everyone told me what they, and sometimes people's memory, you hear something, I didn't hear that, but you said that's what you heard. Maybe you heard over a period of years, you forgot a word or two, because, there's a part in the Moorish literature where the process is,
it's not about being told.
so with he says, we're going to leave you, the European here long enough to teach you how to run a government. But Hercules said there's something more to that statement. They're not supposed to teach us how to run. There's something more. But anyway, what I'm saying is that we're going over the oral statements. So when we look at the oral statements, the Koran class teacher was talking about pork last time and the different things of pork and bringing out different things in the oral statements. And we've been reading some of the oral statements. So I wanted to read some of the oral statements, but when I read it, I have to look at it in the context of those spoiled made, like, the Koran, the divine constitution of Muslims, these different. So when you read something, you're like, that one seems a little shaky to me, or that one's right on point, and that builds or gives me better understanding of this point that he was making. And so you gotta have to look at that, because this did not go through some kind of screening process, other than the leader was trying to get the information out to us because these people were passing away. And as much as he remembered, he probably didn't remember everything they told him. And if we've got to a certain generation, he had, well, brother, what did someone say? I never met them all. I think someone said that they met him, that he said. So he was trying to get the information out. But one of the things I read is when I'm reading it, and I come across something, and it says something like comes across the Pan American Conference, right? So when he got off the boat, said that the Secretary used representing the United States. That's something where I can go in and go, who's Secretary used? Oh, this is the same secretaries at the time of the Prophet. Pan American Conference. Oh, they had this conference. These are some things I could build on. So one of the things I want to build on today is something you might have referred to as the blue ethers. So you're a Moorish American. You got an oral statement. You know what I'm saying, Brother Lordio? You know what I'm saying, Brother Serrano Bay? And you're studying this information. It's just not a novel. This is how you're going to run your life. This is how you're going to raise your children. This is how you're going to treat people at your job. This is who you are as a person, trying to build yourself up. So if I hear something and it's like, oh, I don't know what that means, and you just keep on going, like, well, when will you know what that means? Or you don't care what that means. So Brother Serrano Bay looked up, the first one is on page 15, Morris. If you got your oral statements, if you don't, we got a couple oral statements up there, we got them back there. Number 155. Brother G. Cook Bay. It's on, sister. She guys name? That's Sister M. Sorry. All right. Sister M. Jordan, are you all right? Okay. All right. Hopefully the Moors have an oral statement pamphlet.
Oh, look.
55. Brother G. Cook Bay, Grand Sheikh Emeritus of Temple One, said that he asked the Holy Prophet to tell him about a particular star in the heavens. Now I'm going to pause right there. His brother G. Cook Bay, I read him. I met him, right? And just a little advice to some of the Moors. If you meet some of the older Moors along the way, and they start getting into a thing and they're teaching and they're talking about, let them go. If you interrupt them, that's probably going to be the end of the story. So he would be speaking, and be 4 or 5 brothers, and he's saying something. Now all of a sudden, one of them was like Islam, or what do you blah 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 blah. You want to interject. Then after he interjects, and Brother G. Moyo, G. Cook Bay, but I Cook Bay, they were just, or some of the other elders, they were just like, okay, would you interrupt me? So that's just especially if you're, intimate, like at someone's house and one-on-one, and they're talking, just let them speak. Because sometimes it's like a flow. I'm getting a little older now. And once I lose my flow, believe it or not, it's like I can't get it back to that same moment as quick as you might when you're young. All right? But anyway, said the Holy Prophet told him about a particular star in the heaven, and the Holy Prophet told him, if you go and get 10 people, I will tell you about that star. But the G. Cook Bay said he could not get anyone, but he returned to the Holy Prophet and informed him of that. The Holy Prophet told him, I could tell you some things that will make your brain turn to water. I didn't see blue ethers in that. You told me 55? 55, page 15. I got the text right here. Which one you saying it is?
Page 22. Is it 22?
22, 226.
Yeah. 226, you said?
You gave me page 22, number 226.
Yeah.
Brother J. Forster Bay, while Assistant Grand Sheik of Temple 25, told the Moors that the Holy Prophet told the Moors after a meeting, and most of the people had gone home, "Wake up, you sleepy-headed Moors. I'm going to take you up above the sun, moon, and stars, around the throne of the mighty Allah." Brother J. Forster Bay said that the Holy Prophet took them up above the blue ethers, around the throne of Allah. This happened in Detroit, Michigan, in the late 1920s. J. Forster Bay concluded with the words, "Moors, your prophet was a prophet." All right. So there are other references not there?
That's that, just that one.
Just that one. All right, praise Allah. The blue ethers. So let's first think about what that means. All right, brother. You have something? You have the link? Let's put that on the screen. And what I want to do. All right, so this information is excerpted from the book Dying into Life, The Yoga of Death, Loss, and Transformation by Dr. Jivan Jyoti Kaur Khalsa. I don't know if I pronounced it right. Once we successfully cross the electromagnetic field of the Earth, we are ready to begin our passage through the 5 blue ethers. Now, it's up to the Moors. The brother put the link in the chat, right? I'm not an expert. I'm just trying to show you that things the prophet said, it should perk your interest and read to put the pieces of the puzzle together so you have a better understanding of what you're doing here in the Moorish Science of America, what you're doing in your life, and what role you're playing in this earth, right? For what purpose was the Moorish Science of America founded? That was weak. For what purpose was the Moorish Science of America founded?
For the uplifting of fallen humanity.
All right? So let's go over this, and I just want you to go down so they can see it on the screen. I'm going to read a little bit of it. I have it here with you. All right. Depending on our spiritual orientation, we usually have at least one guide to direct us through the realms of consciousness. For example, a Christian may have Christ, Mother Mary, or Saint Francis. A Jew may have Abraham or Moses. A Sikh may have Guru Nanak. The first blue ether, I don't want to mess up the name, called Kata Parak, contains the Akashic records, also referred to as the cosmic library or storehouse, where all the information of the universe is kept, including the life histories of all beings. We should all be thinking about this story, right? Right, Brother Surrounded? The story, he's told Jesus all about how man was mine and this and that. And he asked, well, how do you know this? He said, well, the priest told me so. And he said, listen, why don't we go in the land of fleshless things? Mind never does forget. And backward through the ages, masterminds can trace themselves. Brother Spalding can trace himself. Brother Surrounded Sister Sealed, you can trace yourself. You know, you have to have the concept. You know, the world we live in and the things that people saying is not all correct. Now, the Prophet Noble Drew Ali is trying to teach us in the ways of the Moors. So in here, that first one is talking about these Akashic records. If you look at the Aquarian Gospel, he opens up, he gives this testimonial of Levi, of the Akashic records, about going, you remember in chapter 2, it talked about let me go to chapter 2. It's an age had come, the gate to another age opened at the right? And so in Levi's book, in Aquarian Gospel, right? And I'll get into this other topic for a second. But and you read it, you talk about the Aquarian Gospel, you talk about how, and they call this in I have to write it down. You might have heard this expression in the Bible, the 24 elders. And the 24 elders were a seraphim and a cherubim, one for each age. And they govern over the age. And in this book by Levi, it talks about how it was the changing of the guard from these two seraphim and cherubim to the other two, the other one is two each, right? And then 12 signs of the zodiac. So every time it goes through, you have these two, and they make up the 24 elders. See, these are the things when we're reading them, we can't take for granted, because the prophet has given us the keys to understand some of the other things that we might have been reading and studying and people saying, but you didn't even really know the reason. And now you're opening up your mind and you're seeing where the prophet's talking about, and the brothers talk about these ethers. So it goes on more, but I'm just going to read a little bit of each one because it talks about 5 here. The second blue ether is called Saporaka, and it is where we access where we are in the cosmic play and what lessons we have yet to learn to further our consciousness. We not only acknowledge the need for these lessons, but we must next learn how to constantly maintain them throughout the test of time and space. This means that our efforts are able to demonstrate our consciousness through constancy of actions in all situations. I told them all one time, I remember when I first joined the temple, and then one time, I think about the temple during my waking hours, but when I was sleeping, it's like I never even met the prophet, the temple, the principal, anything. And one time I was in fear of my life. I threw up the prayer and started saying the prayer. All right. So what I'm saying is somewhere along the line, this effort that we're making, we have to take a look at where we are along the way. That's like studying yourself. And so this second ether, some people say, well, I didn't pick my mother and father. Well, there's another rule or another thought that you did. That based on this thought here, that you sat there and you said, well, Brother Kanenbe needs to learn this lesson, needs to learn that lesson. Remember chapter 1? Says the soul for many ages, trials and temptations made manifold, that we might gain this perfection. And then when we don't need it, we could put the soul body down after we learn the lessons. So this is alluding to that. All right? The third ether, the third blue ether, called Koran, is the etheric realm of Khalsa. Up to this point, we have faced our karmas and received the tools we need to pay them off. Now in the third ether, free of the lessons of time and space, we move into a more refined realm, that of Khalsa, or pure one. There is a grace and a dignity which relate to spiritual consciousness. The fourth blue ether, there's a huge shift. The fourth blue ether, called Brahm Parashat, is a realm of radiance, or the light itself. Once we reach this ether, we cannot reincarnate into another life without the will of God. All right? And I'll read the fifth one. The fifth blue ether, called Brahm, or God, is the ultimate flow and merger into God, where out of the formless, limitless exists, and all of creation comes into being. In ancient scriptures, it is said that in this realm, one experiences the divine gaze of the Creator. All right? So it's talking about these different ethers. And so in order for us to better understand, right, I want us to go to chapter, I'm going to ask for Serrano Bay. If you could write on the board, maybe we could turn one of the cameras there. Lord, I want to go to chapter 11. Right, this is from the same chapter I was just quoting from, about going to the land of flexes thing. So hopefully the brother was good with English and spelling. I wasn't, so I have him do it. Right? But at the top, oh, he has a little helper. So Moors, let's look down. Instruction 19. Let's see, Sister Seals on page 18. Could you read instruction 19 for us? And you could write up on the board the triune Allah. The triune Allah. You could write that up. The triune Allah. You don't have to be an artist about it. I know he's an artist too. Sister, could you read number 19?
Islam.
Islam.
From Allah's own record book, we read, the triune Allah breathed forth and stood 7 spirits before his face. The Hebrews call these 7 spirits Elohim.
All right. Who's the triune Allah? What is that, Brother Smithiel?
Islam.
The triune Allah.
Wisdom, will, and love.
Wisdom, will, and love. Can someone give me another example? You don't have to write that. Yeah, write that down. Wisdom, will, and love. Write it right underneath the triune Allah. Wisdom, will, and love. Who could tell me another way of expressing that? Come on. Another way. Wisdom, will, and love. Someone online want to answer that question? Underneath wisdom, what could I put?
Islam.
Brother Jordan?
Peace, praise and honor given in unison. I would say thought, strength, and love.
Say it again. Thought, what?
Thought, strength, and love.
Thought, strength, and love. Let's put that down. Thought, strength, and love. Anyone else?
Islam Grand Sheikh.
Islam all?
I know it as the father, the mother, and the son.
Okay, let's put that down. Father, mother, son. All right. Now remember, and we don't have to keep going, but there's many, right? But remember, words are expressing a thought. The thought is the Trinity, the triune, right? The thought is that there's one Allah. There's one Allah. But that one Allah in action, you got the wisdom in action is the will. Now remember, in the chapter from Star Wars, may the force be with you. It says in the chapter 7, right, Brother Lawyer? It says force is the will of Allah. So you could put that on the will, you could put force, right? But we're not going to get caught. We want to think about the thought, right? So this is all what? This is all from the spirit plane, right? So let's go back to what it said. So we all understand what the triune Allah is, right? The triune Allah breathed forth and stood 7 spirits before his face. The Hebrews call these 7 spirits Elohim. We got to wipe off that law. I know you're trying to help us. Wipe that off. Okay, go ahead, finish. I'm sorry. I'm going to get in trouble with the parents. You got to watch when the children and the parents are together. You're dealing with the child, but you're dealing with the children too. All right. Thank you. Thank you. So now we want to write down Elohim. All right, Sister Adam Saranove, can you say Elohim? Let's see what the prophet says about it. It says here, 7 spirits. How old are you?
7.
Say 7 spirits.
7 spirits.
Of Elohim. Okay? Now all the Moorish Americans, unless you're a new member, does anyone have a question? We're talking about the triune Allah and the 7 spirits.
Islam.
Okay, we
Why
got
is it called Triune Allah?
Say again?
Why is it called Triune Allah?
1, 2, 3. Or when you make a 3-point basketball shot, you go like that. Right? 3.
That's not why it's called triune.
No, 3 points. Tri means 3. It used to be called the Triborough Bridge. Tri, right? Triangle.
Islam. Like a tricycle.
Tricycle.
Exactly.
3 wheels. Triangle.
A
3.
bicycle, that's 2.
Like peace is one of the 4 points of the green 5-pointed star on the Moorish flag.
Correct, Mundo. Let's go to Brother Turnabay. Islam online. Brother Turnabay. Islam Sheik, you had your hand up? Brother Coleman here.
Islam, first of all, the rise to give praise to Allah and honors to the Prophet and honors to everything that you gave honors to. When I think about the triune Allah, I think about a triangle, I think about the 3 angles, and I also think about the sun, moon, and star. Peace.
Peace. Praise Allah. Thank you for coming here, Brother Turnabay. All right, he might be in and out. All right. These are those, we're at number 20. Let's go with number 20, Brother I Lord here. We're on page 18, Morris.
Islam, pardon, Morris. I'm having trouble with my phone.
All right, hold down for a second. We'll get right back to you. Number 20, Brother Lordia. Islam must thank you so much.
And these are they who in their boundless power created everything that is or was.
Praise Allah. These spirits moved on the triune Allah, these spirits of the triune Allah moved on the face of boundless space, and it's supposed to be 7 ethers were. And every ether had its form of life. Could you write under that? 7 ethers. 7 ethers. 7 ethers.
7 days.
All right? And then under that, you can write.
I'm gonna write 7 days.
And under that, you can write 7 beings. If we go to Brother Spaulding, if we go to page 19, and then we'll just see what I'm talking about. Now let's go to instruction number 36. It starts with the thoughts of Allah change not.
Islam.
Islam.
Thoughts of Allah change not, manifested life when every plane unfolds into perfection of their kind. It's the thought of Allah, never can die. There is not death to any being of the 7 ethers and the 7 spirits of the triune Allah. Peace.
Praise Allah. All right. So, thank you for this round. All right. So, what I'm trying to mention, I don't know if some of you ever heard of it, it's etheric body.
Some.
Right? Because human beings, right? Human beings, we got this body. But we're also a spirit. We're also a soul. And this is how we originated here. So when we're down here, the 7 beings, and the prophet was telling them was, I could take you up to the 7 ethers where you can access certain information. It's the same thing as taking them to the land of fleshless things. So I just want to mention that because that's a possibility. He came to show us the possibilities of man. So when people ask you about being a Moorish American and ask you all these different things, and how do you know that? Oh, because the minister at the temple told me so. The Grand Sheikh told me so. The prophet told me so. Okay. But man knows that by being told. So then he tells you about, he took him up into the ether plane and showed him. Any questions? Blue ethers, Morris. Let's go into, I want to finish up this chapter so we can start a new chapter next week. Chapter 17. Islam, if you have your Holy Koran, Sister Secretary, could you read the title of the chapter on page 26, the Divine Instructions from the Holy Prophet?
Islam,
Islam,
you said read the title of the chapter on page 17?
page 26, chapter 17. Could you read the title?
Praise Allah. Chapter, page 26, it says that chapter 17, Jesus appears fully materialized before Apollo and the Silent Brotherhood in Greece, appears to Claudius and Juliet on Tiber near Rome, appears to the priests in the Egyptian temple at Heliopolis.
Thank you so much. So in the last couple of weeks, we talked about these brotherhoods. I refer to them as the silent brotherhood. In these different areas, all right? These adepts, these teachers, Manly P. Hall, the adepts of America. Very interesting. We live in America. You check that out. But in this, it's talking about him going back and giving them different messages. He went to them, he burnt up the oracle. Now, Allah's not going, he might have did this years ago, but now he's going to speak to you through me. He said that he had a title of vast estate. You know, he went to Claudius and Juliet, made them ambassadors to Rome. He went into the temple here of Heliopolis, right? And he's here in the temple of the sun, explaining to a beautiful, talking about here we have the chemistry of mortal life, the ministry of death, the mystery of deific life. And if I can remember straight, I think that when Brother Hopkins Day, then when he walked in for his brother's remembrance or celebration, did he read this? I think he read from this. He read this as they all walked in, all family, right? So this is a Moorish American understand like we're talking about. We talk about these ethers. We talk about how you pass away. And the fixed dissolve, the body must disintegrate. And then Allah breathes upon these pliant substances, like when the worlds were formed. And life springs forth from death. And this is not just a message for funerals. This is for us to have this understanding, you know? And so as we go through this chapter, I want to point out the end of the chapter, which is very important. Brother Smithio, if you could read 42 and 43. Islam.
My human form was fully given to bring my will to tune with the deific will. When this was done, my earth tasks all were done. And you, my brothers, know full well the foes I had to meet. You know about my victories in Gethsemane, my trials in the courts of men, my death upon the cross.
All right. Sister M. Serrano, number 44, on page 28. Stand up, square yourself up. All right, let's go top of the page. 44. Page 28.
Page 44.
Instruction 44. You know
that
a little bit louder.
all my life was one great drama for the sons of men, of Adam for the sons of men. I have lived to show the possibilities of man.
Thank you so much. And if your father can read 45. Islam.
What I have done, all men can do, and what I am, all men shall be.
And Sister Noor, number 46. Praise Allah and honor to the Prophet.
Praise Allah and honor to the Prophet.
Thank you.
What I have done.
No, number 46.
I'm so sorry. You said instruction 1, right?
46. The masters looked.
I'm so sorry. The masters looked. The form upon the sacred pedestal had gone, but every temple priest and every living creature said, praise Allah.
Praise Allah. Praise Allah. No apologize.
I just don't have my glasses.
Because I appreciate you. I appreciate when you're without your glasses. Now that I need my glasses. I appreciate all of you. We got to use these positive vibrations. Because the negative forces is out there more. The end of time and the fulfilling of the prophecies. Where two people in your family are going to war against the other three in the same household. Where the father is going to stand against his sire. And the daughter against her mother. But when we get to these ends of days and times, it's like we got to look down and we see the prophet's lessons, like a weather report coming across the sky. It's going to be hot. And Spalding Bay wears a pair of shorts, t-shirt. The weather's going to be cold. Puts on his gear because the hawk is outside. It's going to be rainy. Brother Smith gets his umbrella. This is how life comes. Misery comes. Oh, misery's here. All right, I got to pull out reason now. Because my passions and my desires is getting me even more miserable. What can subdue thee but reason? You know? When you find yourself doing things outside, you say, man, I got to pull out my working tools. You know what I'm saying, brother Laudio? I got to take my hammer and pound it in. Brother here got to pull out his saw. Brother Spalding Bay said, man, my life don't seem symmetrical. It's not balanced. The plummet, the line, the saw, all these have to uses in the workshop of the mind, and then there's trinity of steps here. Because we're trying to climb up to be pure in life. You can't get to those other ether planes unless you go through certain things here. It's a purification process. Whether the Christians call it a baptism or baptism by fire, by water, by whatever it is, a process that you have to go through something. And then going through something, you're going to direct your life to something. And usually something positive and something godly. You know? So when he's talking about the possibilities of man, his life was one great drama for the sons of man. You don't want to get into that kind of thinking where I can't be like Jesus. If Jesus went up to the land of flesh and things, so can you. You got to go into your meditations. You got to go into your sciences. Without the practice, your jump shot is weak. Without the practice, you're not going to make the putt. Without the practice, you're not going to get 100 on the spelling test. You end up with what Celia has to say. It's all.
And so I just wanted to ask a question. So as you're speaking about the blue ethers, and of course we read the holy ministry and that the essence of the body cannot be quickened by the holy breath until it fixes itself, and recognizing that as stages of rigor mortis and what that means within the body and the disintegration. Within science, I know that energy doesn't, die, it just changes in form. And so I was gonna ask if like somebody look at it related to an aura, like when your heart beats, like that boom essentially still gives a vibration around the body, like an electromagnetic field, whatever you will. All right, would you compare, I guess, the collective of those energies as the blue ether? Like how would trying to fathom it?
Yes and no. So let's give the example of the Akashic records. So you go up to the Akashic records, right? And you're like, well, there you go, Candace. My whole life, from all of this is there. But also the Akashic records is Brother Spalding Bay and this, so it's all up there, like the Book of Life. So in one part, it's just you individually, but in another part, it's part of the whole universal. It's just like you're the micro of the macro. I don't know if that's helping you, but you kind of got that look. Islam?
No, I'm trying to process because if you could imagine for the sake of drawing a tree, right? And now there's the roots that's all the way up there, that's all connected, and then you kind of just I guess you see the fruit. But there's that invisible line, if you will, that you're still connected onto that particular, I guess you'd say, ether realm, for lack of a better word, so the ether realm. And I guess it's like tying in the all of knowledge with everyone and everything, but it's less tangible. Because I'm trying to get off.
I think, and one of the brothers mentioned when they mentioned the Trinity, I think in your meditations, right, you gotta get to this certain part where you gotta go past the sun, moon, and stars. You see? So I think that the ethers is talking about a rate of vibration. So when it says the prophet took them up, their bodies, it wasn't like I'm not thinking that he took them like when we said his body transmuted, and then the brother here transmuted, and he took them up, like physically and spiritually. I think that he took them consciously. All right? Yeah. I don't want to be a violation because we're over time. Ms. Smithfield?
That was, there's a hand.
All right, we're gonna get to Brother Attorney Bay during secretary's time. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn the meeting back over to Brother Smithfield, and I'll switch with him.
Sure. Great.
All right, so let me read the warning, and then you can conduct the rest of it. All right, it's almost.
Islam.
January 15th, 1929, Prophet warns all Muslims ordered to read proclamation at each meeting. I hereby inform all members they must end all radical agitating speeches while at work, in their homes, on the streets. We are for peace, not destruction. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans and cause confusion. Remember, your card is for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders will be of severe consequence. We are for love, truth, peace, and freedom. When these principles are violated, we are for love, truth, peace, and freedom. And when these principles are violated, justice then must take its course. Any member or group of members who hold malicious feelings towards the temple or the prophet, or violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement, will receive the reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors will and must obey the law as laid down to them by their prophet. If they lose confidence in their prophet, they should turn in their card, button, cease wearing their turban and fez, return to the state where the prophet found you. This is a holy and divine movement founded by the prophet, no withdrawing. If the prophet is not right, the temple is not right. The prophet therefore is sending out the divine plea to all Moorish Americans that they do their part in protecting their prophet and the temple. This is an everlasting movement founded by the prophet through the will of Allah to redeem his people from their sins by order of the prophet, no withdrawing. Peace.
Peace. Islamers.
Islam.
I'd like to thank you all again for joining us today for our Koran class, in person and online. At this time, we'd like to transition into Secretary's time. This is a time where we can contribute our donations to the temple, pay our dues, as well as share any announcements that the Most High have in their personal lives, as well as around the nation. And I'd like to call on Secretary of Temple 34, Sister J. O'Neill, to deliver today's announcements.
Islam.
Wow.
Islam. Can you hear me okay?
Islam.
Islam. Praise Allah. Praise and honor is already given. Just a reminder, Moors, you can pay your dues and make your donations through Cash App, PayPal, and Zelle. If you're going to use our Cash App, please make sure that you use $ MSTA34. Also, make sure that you include in the note for all of these avenues that you want to use, whether it's PayPal or Zelle, what you are sending it for. Morris, if you have a descriptive name that does not indicate who you are, please let us know in the notes who you are if you're sending in a payment. If it doesn't say your name, that way we can allocate it appropriately. Again, if you do use Cash App, make sure you include the 2.75% fee that is added in so that your full due, your full payment is counted for. A reminder to the Moors that Friday is the holy day for all Muslims all over the world, and that we will get together again and be together at 7:30 p.m. on Friday from 7:30 to 10. And then on Sundays, we're together for Sunday school. Islam, Brother Clinton, do you mind muting the temple? Praise Allah. We come together again on Sunday as we did today for Sunday school from 2 to 4 p.m. So we'll see you again on Friday, our holy day. We are on social media. You can find us on Facebook as well as Instagram. We have a public page and we also have a private page. You can just search under Moorish Science Temple of America, temple number 34, and you'll see these images pop up. Feel free to join, like, subscribe, follow, and share. Additionally, we have our Facebook chat where we put out the most recent information that we have about events and any other announcements. We do have a morning prayer. Just a reminder to the Moors that men need a pattern for their lives that they love to follow and not lead. And so if you'd like to start and keep a pattern, you can join us 6 a.m. Join the Moors across the nation for prayer and Quran reading. It is on Zoom. It is not the same Zoom line. It's the number that I'm showing you, and you have to put the passcode in. and you can join the Moors across the nation for prayer in the morning. Additionally, there is prayer at night, prayer and Quran reading. It's slightly different in the sense that there is songs, words of encouragement, and maybe some more dialogue, but it's practically the same. It's a good way to end the night, and that's at 9 p.m. Again, it is on Zoom, the number that you're seeing, and it is not held on Friday, of course, because as mentioned earlier, we have our Holy Day meeting, and so that would conflict. A reminder that we have our national conference call every Thursday. It is facilitated by our Grand Sheikh, Brother W. Clendenin Bey, with the assistance of our Assistant Chairman, Brother El Serrano Bey. And if you have questions, it's a good opportunity to raise them. Also to hear a response or hear from the other Moors from across the nation and to hear their portion, as well as give your own. And so we get together on Thursday at 7:30 p.m. and I believe it runs for about an hour. You have to dial in. This is a conference call line, not a Zoom. But if you have any issues getting onto the call, please let one of the sheiks know, or you can communicate with us on the Facebook chat, and we'll do our best to get you on. A reminder about our civics class. We just had one on April 23rd. We have it every other Wednesday. It is facilitated by Brother K. Turner Bay, along with our Grand Sheik and other sheiks in the Sheik Board. We work to discuss relevant topics and with the goal of having us Moorish Americans know and learn how to take our place in the affairs of men. So we hope that you will join us. That goes very quickly. We start at 6 and we end promptly at 7. And so it's really important that you all start on time, and it is the same Zoom line. If you're interested in attending the Sisters Auxiliary at this point, because of it's coming up May 2nd and May 3rd, we just need to send the names to them. You can purchase your tickets at the door, and they just want to make sure they have enough tables to accommodate you if you can. Initially or earlier on, you would have purchased your tickets through the temple, but at this point, because it is coming up soon, and so you just need to let myself know, and I can send that information in if you are attending. And I know I heard from Brother M. Kidbay. I put you down for 2 with Sister N. Johnson Bay. And also, she did extend that if you are interested in attending the gala, that you can also attend the workshops. The sisters can attend the workshops. For the brothers, we have our Moorish Brothers Retreat. That's May 24th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And that's going to be held in St. Louis, Missouri. If you're interested in attending, please reach out to Brother J. Cavanis Bay. Please let your Grand Sheik know. Moors, anytime you want to attend an event outside of your temple, it's important that you let your Grand Sheik know so that we can make sure that you are taken care of, or if any accommodations need to be handled, and we can make sure that we can pretty much speak to the other Moors in that state and make sure that everything goes smoothly for you. Our upcoming Sheik training that we offer every third Tuesday of each month will be held on May 20th. If you're interested in becoming a Sheik, please speak to your Grand Sheik, Brother W. Clinton Bay. You can also send an email to our email, mooresignsimpleno.34@gmail.com for additional information. It is held on Zoom at 8 p.m. every third Tuesday of each month. And I believe Grand Sheik has extended this to all faithful members of Temple 34. That they can attend. If you have questions of whether you are a faithful member, please reach out to your Grand Sheik. Reminder that there's the camp out happening in Prince George, Virginia. If you're interested in attending, that is Friday, June 13th, Sunday, June 15th. Again, if you do not want to camp outside in a tent and you would like to do an RV, please reach out to Brother G. Gregory Bay, because I believe that's limited space. Additionally, if you don't want to do that, you can make reservations for a hotel nearby. And I don't think that there will be any problem with that. Once again, you just need to reach out to Brother G. Gregory Bay so that we can accommodate you and make sure space is given for you. The Moorish Science Temple, Temple 48 is having their Charter Day. So if you are available to attend, that is going to be in Trenton, New Jersey. It's May 25th. And you can just mark your calendar for that from 2 to 4 p.m. I believe that is all the announcements I have for now. If you have any questions or you have an announcement that you'd like me to make, you're more than welcome to share it with me. You can send it to my email, and I will be sure to let you all know. Also, a happy belated birthday to our Grand Sheik, Brother W. Clement. So know how much we appreciate you, and we are grateful to go through this journey with you. With that, I say peace. Thank you, Brother Eisenfield, for calling on me.
Peace. So we got Brother Turner Bay and Brother Coleman.
Praise Allah. Thank you, Kashi. Just another announcement. I just want to remind more that we're also still looking to collect emails from more so we can develop a newsletter just to keep more informed on the current events and announcements. We know that we have them on the meetings, but just keep consistent correspondence going on from Mars. I'll call on Brother K. Turner Bay. So.
Praise Allah. I'll be brief. I just wanted to give a note on everything that the Grand Sheik was talking about. A really, really, really good explanation is in the Metu Nectar book 1 and 2, where it breaks down, the correlations of each Aegis plane, but it breaks it down into like consciousness. Each level is a different consciousness or reality of conscious, and one being conscious of itself. And it really explains in detail, what to expect in these different stages of consciousness or awakeness, right? So that's a really good book. It's 2 books. It's a really good book to study, based on what the GS was presenting on the class. With that, I say peace.
Brother Turner Bay, can you text that to me? Thank you.
Could you say the name again as well, dear brother?
Metu Netor or Metu Netta, but I text him.
Praise Allah.
Thank you,
dear brother. It's on Brother J. Coleman.
Islam, praise Allah, and honor the Prophet. Again, you are the children of one father, provided for by his care, and the breast of one mother have given you suck. Let the bonds of affection therefore unite thee with our brothers, that peace and happiness may dwell in our Father's house, and when he separated in the world, remember the relations that bonded you to love and unity, and prefer not a stranger before thy own blood. If thy brother's in adversity, assist them. If thy sister's in trouble, forsake her not. So shall the fortunes of thy father contribute to the support of his whole race, and its care be continued to you all, and your love to each other. And I just want to say, I want to give a big happy born day to the Grand Sheik, who's turning 21. And at least
that's my boy. That's my boy.
Good Sunday school. I really enjoyed myself, and I just got a lot to study. And I just want to say peace to the morals, and I love y'all. Peace.
Peace. Praise Allah. Praise Allah.
You want to show them? I don't know where you put the rest of it.
It's obvious. I did.
Want to show them what we have to do?
Yes, of course. We do have a hand from Sister J. Jordan. Sister J.
Islam, I just wanted to add really quickly, for upcoming birthdays, we have Sister T. King Day, who will be having a birthday on the 30th. So we just want to know, just let the Moors know that she does have a birthday coming up, and make sure that you send your birthday wishes to her, and let her know that we do appreciate her, love her, and wish her a very happy birthday. That I say peace.
Praise Allah. Happy birthday to the sister. I also want to remind the Moors that we do have the latest edition of the Moorish Guide newspaper. This one's from Friday, March 7th, 2025. And lots of beautiful editions in here from Moors all across the nation. So if you're available or able, please get a chance to purchase a copy. They're available for $3. We have the Zelle, Cash App, as well as just take the Cash App. And we have also just gotten here, 34, the large Korans, the Holy Koran of the Moorish Science Temple of America. I believe these are 25, and just much easier for Moors to read, and also just a great way of just seeing the Prophet's lessons displayed in a larger sense. It does hit differently. So
for your older Moors, you don't need to read this all the time when you got the big Quran.
Praise Allah.
All right.
As well as the Quran, we also have
some lithographs. That's what we were referring to. This is like a poster of the first convention in 1928. When I referred to the.
Can you pass me that one?
I can help you. want to see that?
Up a little bit. Here we go.
This is the lithograph that hang in the temple that we talk about. And it get a little closer. Over here, you see that over here where Brother Smithfield's hand is, the camel. Move it up a little right there. It says endurance underneath it. And then over here, where it says has a pyramid, it says eternity underneath it. All right? So praise Allah.
Praise Allah.
You can see the secretaries if you need any of this Korans or the lithograph.
How much is that with Dr.
I'm gonna have to check into it.
Praise Allah.
I'll give you a price. I think it's in that 20 range too. I gotta check.
Praise Allah. Appreciate you, Country. Hey, Islam, just use this as AGS.
By the way, we gotta save 2 for Brother Hurt.
Praise Allah.
That sounds good, brother. I was wondering, I know we spoke about the Moorish Concordance, right? And I just wanted to know if there was a way that maybe we could access a couple of copies.
Brother Johnson Bay, you still there,
I'm sure
Mo?
my brother's still there.
Islam, Brother M. Johnson Bay. Sure, I can't see.
All right, I'll check with him. How many was any of the more than interested? Let me know. I'll try to see. 1, Serrano Bay, 2, 3. Maybe I'll get 5. All right, Sister Seals, you'll remind me. I'll contact. He might have to do something with his job.
What do you mean 5? I think that's 2.
I got the financial report.
Praise Allah.
Only 2 Serrano Bays.
Islam.
That's why I got 3 arms.
But
At this time, I'm calling.
5 bays.
I'm calling our Grand Chief for everything in the Bay to read today's financial report and attendance.
Islam?
Islam.
Moorish Science Temple number 34, April 27, 2025. Public collection $15, Feds $50, uplifting fund $10, travel fund $10, local building fund $10, for a total of $95. I need a attendance.
Attendance, my apologies.
Oh, I will fill in attendance later, more. That's my report.
Islam. Here to reading today's financial report and attendance. Also will and pleasure of the Moors. Islam. For the Adordo. Idris.
Islam.
Islam.
I move that the financial report be accepted with any necessary corrections if there be any.
Islam. It was moved by Brother Adordo, the financial report and attendance be accepted with any necessary corrections. If there be any, can I receive a second? Islam. Sister Cecil.
That's fine, I second that motion.
Islam. It was seconded by Brother Cecil, my sister Cecil, the financial report and attendance be accepted with any necessary corrections. If there be any, heard the motion, the motion ready for the question.
Question.
To approve today's financial report, show by the motion way of voting. Islam. All opposed, same sign. Islam. Let the secretary note that the motion has been carried. Carried. Praise Allah.
Praise Allah.
I'd like to thank the Moors for joining us on today's Koran class and contributing all of your energy and all of your vibrations and all of your demonstrations in the thought and in the words. It's always a blessing to share with the Moors the understandings of whatever the topic may be, and always furthers me in my journey and my development. So I'm grateful and I appreciate all you Moors continuously. Anything else, Grand Chief? I'll continue to remind the Moors to keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. And I pray that Allah continues to protect us from all forces seen and unseen. Honors to each and every one of you for all that you do. All right. Face the east. Feet at 93, 45 on the east side. There's 5 fingers on the left, 2 hands on the right.
Everything repeat the Moorish American prayer after me.
Praise Allah.
Allah, the Father of the universe.
Allah, Father of the universe.
The
Father of love,
truth,
peace, freedom,
and justice.
Allah is my
protector,
my guide,
and my salvation. By night, and by day. Through the Holy Prophet. Drew Ali. Amen.
Amen. Praise Allah.
Dad, how are you today?
Praise Allah.
Praise Allah. Thank you, dear Sister M. Jordan Neal. Thank you, Sister Kayla Neal. Islam. Thank you all the Moors that contributed today.
Love and peace to the Moors.
Peace.
Islam, twin.
Peace.
Peace.
Allah.
Brother Jordan, I see you, Mo.
Yeah, the mom, look it up. All right, Papa, we're going to the royal tribe.
Islam, good brother.
Islam, brother Jordan Hill. Appreciate you, dear brother. Good to hear you.
Appreciate your Moors.
Always goes in the offer at hand, you know, brother Grant.
Honest to the Jordan L family. Peace and love to the Moors.
Peace and love, all.